Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live video. And I'm just out here double checking that I am live where I want to be, and looks like everything is good to go. So let me get set up a second so that I can see your comments coming in. Hopefully you've got a few people jumping on to join me. If so, say hello, and if not, I'll chat with y'all later. So, all right, so today I have got a little card that is made with the Lemon Zest stamp set and the Lemon Builder Punch. Hey, Karen, thanks for hopping in. But before I get started, I don't want to forget, this is an awesome new thing that Stampin' Up! Just announced to us today. And hey, Anne, welcome from Massachusetts. So Stampin' Up! Just announced this today, that they have got some new storage by Stampin' Up! Items that will be available starting on April 1st to everybody to order. So yay. Definitely very exciting. So I don't know how well you can see it on the video, but they've got it's a storage unit that's specifically designed for the Stampin' Up! Ink pads, ink refills, markers, and blends, and then there are some open cases that you can put things like ribbon and embellishments and all sorts of little fun things in. So it's sort of a modular system, I guess is what you would call it, where it's got different components to it, and you can mix and match things as much as you'd like. If you only need a few of the blends trays, but you need more of the ink trays, you can get more of those, less of these. The open storage cube is an option. The storage topper to store your ink pads is an optional item as well, an add-on piece. And then there's a storage lid. So here you can see the ink pad or the ink refill option for the top, and then this one has got the flat storage lid on it. So definitely very cool. Again, this is all going to be available starting on April 1st from Stampin' Up! And you'll be able to order it in the online store. This is also going to be in the next annual catalog, so hopefully no worries about things selling out and that sort of thing, or if it does, it's going to come back. So that's very awesome, and I wanted to let you guys know about it. If you have questions or want to see more details out of my blog post today, if you kind of scroll down towards the bottom underneath the Daisy Delight card, there are some links out there, and you can see this flyer and print it out for yourself and take a look at all the information on it. There's a second flyer on there that also shows you some optional ways to configure it, just to give you some ideas of how you can use the storage. So I'm really excited about this. Hopefully you guys are too. So I'm happy that they've put together some storage options for us, and I love that you can store everything kind of all together in one, and it all connects together as much or as little as you want it to. So I agree, Chris. I'm really excited about this. So the other little thing that I want to make sure you don't miss at the very bottom is this pretty floral grid paper. Stampin' Up! Put this together for demonstrators, and we were able to use it at the Onstage event, the 30th anniversary Onstage event, and they printed up some extra, or had more left over. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but they have a limited supply of the floral grid paper. So if you want some pretty grid paper instead of the plain stuff, you'll also be able to order that starting on April 1st. While supplies last. So the grid paper is only while supplies last, but everything else on here is for the next annual catalog for sure, and I'm assuming it'll go even beyond that. But just know that these items will be in the next annual catalog, so there's no frantic rush to go get them right away, although I'll be in a frantic rush to get them right away, because that's how I roll. So all right, let me know if you have any questions about that. Again, the details are out on my blog today, so you can go take a look and let me know what you think of it. All right, so back to the card. So this is the card that I made today. Did something a little fun for summer, spring. Hopefully it's warming up where you guys are. It's warming up in the south, and unfortunately that means that the green pollen film covers everything. So we are coated in green down here right now, but it's not the pretty green like, plants and trees. It's the pollen green, which is yucky and sneezy and all that stuff. So anyways, but this is a fun card for spring or summer. Obviously, you use the little Lemon Zest stamp set, the Lemon Builder Punch, and a little bit of the Gingham Gala Designer Series paper. And the paper back here behind the banner paper is actually from the Animal Expedition Designer Series paper pack. So no pollen for you yet, Karen. Be thankful. I'm just, I go from having colds all winter to being snotty all spring from the pollen. So not much fun in my world, but that's okay. We'll survive. So let me set a couple things aside, and we're going to get rolling on this card. So first things first is I've got the card base. And again, I'm going to put all of the, hey Jackie, thanks for hopping in. Glad you were able to join us today. I'm going to put all the cardstock cuts on my blog post tomorrow, so no need to worry about writing everything down or trying to keep track of anything. But this is just a standard 4 1/4 by 11-inch card base scored at 5 1/2. This is a panel of the Gingham Gala Designer Series paper, and it is cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it should cover the complete card front. I'm going to use a little multi-purpose liquid glue to adhere on the Designer Series paper panel. And I like to use that when I'm using a Designer Series paper that's going to, or any kind of paper that's going to cover the entire card front, just because it gives me a little extra second to make sure that I've got everything on here the way I want it and straight before it's stuck down for good. So that looks like it worked. The next thing I did, again, this is from the Animal Expedition Designer Series paper, and I used the Banner Triple Punch, which is again in the annual catalog. This is an awesome punch. It's actually designed to cut banners from anything from 1 inch wide, which you can do smaller if you can center it, which I use it all the time, so don't tell. But I use it much smaller than 1 inch, but 1 inch to 2 inch wide pieces of Designer Series paper or cardstock. So I'm just using this on the little Animal Expedition Designer Series paper that's cut to 2 inches by 5 1/4, and just punching the bottom of it to make a little banner. I'll get that up and out of the way. And then I'm using a little snail to adhere that to the card front. And this is the part where I always kind of hold my breath and look and hope that I've got it on here fairly straight and somewhat centered. And if not, it's handmade, so we're just calling it good. All right, so hey Patricia, I'm glad you were able to join us again today. So, all right, next thing that I'm going to do is a little bit of stamping, and I'm going to start with Daffodil Delight. Delightful Daffodil is what I was going to call it. All right, see, I'm trying. I'm blaming it on the pollen this time. So, all right, so Daffodil Delight ink, and I'm going to use the lemon image from the Lemon Zest stamp set, just inking it up in Daffodil Delight ink. And my lemon builder punch, I want to take a look at that and see which way around I'm going to be punching this. So I'm going to be punching it like that, the little narrower end, which I don't know if you can tell, there's a little bit narrower and a little bit wider end. The narrower end needs to be on this side of my paper because it's on this side of the punch. So I'm going to go ahead, stamp that down. All right, that looks pretty good. And I'm going to close this up before I punch, which I'm going to need to open it again, but somehow punches just fly everywhere, and it'd probably be right on top of the ink pad. So let's go ahead and we will line this up and punch it out and set that lemon aside. And the little extra bits that popped out with it, just drop those right in my recycling bin. All right, next thing I'm going to do is get my 1 3/4 inch circle punch ready to go. And then I'm going to ink the lemon slice in Daffodil Delight ink first. And then I'm going to actually take a sponge dauber, and this is my Daffodil Delight sponge dauber, and I'm going to sort of wipe the ink off. It doesn't need to be a perfect job of cleaning the ink off. I just want to get the majority of it off around the little rind part of the skin on the lemon, and I'm basically just going to wipe that on my scrap paper, grid paper, whatever. So I just want to clean. I don't know how well you can see that I've done it, but I've just basically wiped most of the ink off, most of the Daffodil Delight ink off. And then I'm going to come back in with Lemon Lime Twist ink, and I'm going to use a sponge dauber and just add a little bit of Lemon Lime Twist ink back in around the edge. And don't forget, Lemon Lime Twist is one of the in colors that is retiring. So right now is a really good time to start stocking up on your in colors, because the retiring list is going to be announced April 15th. And once the retiring list is announced, then it becomes available only while supplies last. So make sure that you're getting your things ordered. Anything in color that you're wanting, get it ordered during celebration. You're in the celebration benefits, and then you make sure that you get the stuff, because once April 15th rolls around, there's no guarantee on any of it, and once it sells out, it sells out. And I will tell you that typically in the past, ink refills and markers and cardstock generally sell out first. So if you're wanting those things, make sure that you are getting your orders put in before the end of Celebration. Then you don't have to worry about it, and you're earning Celebration items in the meantime. So 1 3/4 inch circle punch, which I think I already said that. I'm going to use that to punch out my lemon slice. And I see Shelly joined us as well. So thanks for hopping in and saying hello. Hopefully you're having a good day too. So I'm setting that aside. And I went ahead before I started the video and just stamped the little lemon leaves because they're just stamped in lemon lime twist ink. Nothing too exciting about that. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling the pieces of the lemon back in here. What I did for the leaves was I actually adhered them together with a little glue dot. And then adhered it to the back of the lemon that I had punched with a glue dot as well. And again, there's no like special way to do it. I just sort of stuck it on there the way I thought it looked cute. So, all right. The next thing I did was adhere the lemon punch on with more glue dots, because glue dots are one of my favorite adhesives because you can stick them to the back of almost anything and they stick. And then I adhered it here on the card front. And again, there was no special way that I did it, just sort of adhered it on in a spot where I thought it looked good. And again, I already talked about Celebration, but make sure Celebration ends on Sunday. So don't forget that. Make sure you're getting your orders put in. You don't want to miss out on any of the free Celebration items. And there are definitely some good ones this year. Adhered the lemon slice on with some glue dots as well. Let's get that out of the way. Then I stamped the birthday sentiment in Coastal Cabana ink. And there it is. I was going to say if I could find my birthday sentiment. I have too much junk on my desk. So stamped the birthday sentiment in Coastal Cabana ink on Whisper White cardstock. And then I used the Big Shot and one of the rectangle framelits, stitched framelits dies to cut it out. And of course it was this one, because this one fits like almost every sentiment that I have. So I love that. Love that. I'm using that one tons, so I'm sure that I'll probably wear it out before the end of the catalog. So, all right, so let's get it run through the Big Shot here. Slide this over so you can hopefully see what I'm doing. Hopefully I can see what I'm doing. That's probably more important. Well, I don't know. As important as you guys seeing what I'm doing. So when I put this in here, as I've said before, with this particular die set, it does work a little better. Of course, I must have a warped. There we go. It works a little bit better if you can run it through at an angle, just because there's a lot less of a bump when you hit it with your Big Shot, because the rollers that it goes through, if the whole edge side piece hits it, it's really hard to get it to go through, and it wants to really push things around, and it doesn't turn out as nice. So I have found that if I can angle it through, that works much better for cutting things. So got our sentiment done here. I'll get the Big Shot up and out of the way. And I'm going to put my framelit back before I lose track of that, because I've done that before too. And there's nothing worse than that feeling when you've lost a framelit die and have no idea where it went. So, all right, quick and easy with the Stampin' dimensionals on the back of the sentiment. So nothing too complex about that one. Just adding a few of those on. While I'm doing that, I want to remind you again on the Celebration that the Awesome Starter Kit deal is also ending on Sunday. So if you are interested in joining, have any questions about joining, definitely let me know. I'm happy to talk with you about it. We'd love to have you join us and purchase your starter kit. So that would be awesome. Hey, Annette, thanks for jumping on. So it would be awesome to have you join with us. We would love to have you on our team. And we've got a fun little Facebook group. We like to hang out and chat. We share project ideas. Definitely very low key. We don't really push on sales or any of that kind of thing. So it's just we're out there to have fun, and we get together because we like to stamp. And of course like to buy lots of Stampin' Up! Stuff. So, all right. Last thing that I've done here is added a couple of the glitter enamel dots, and I used the Coastal Cabana ones to kind of pick up the color of the sentiment. And the card front is pretty much done. So next thing I did was on the inside of the card, just used a little bit of the leftover scrap from the Gingham Gala Designer Series paper that I trimmed off for the card front. And I'm just going to adhere that. This is 5/8 inch, I think. Maybe it's a 1/2 inch wide. 1/2 inch wide is what this one is. And I'm just going to adhere it to the Whisper White cardstock panel on the inside of the card. I did leave it a little bit long, and all I have to do then is find my paper snips and trim off the excess. I usually do that, leave it a little bit long, just because I find it's a little easier to kind of maneuver it around if it's not the exact size of the little piece of cardstock that I'm working on, and so trimming it off on both sides. All right. Hey, thanks, Karen. I appreciate that. So, all right, using a little bit of snail to go ahead and adhere the inside of the card as well. Lining that up right in here. And that's it for the inside of the card. So I kept it pretty simple. You can stamp a sentiment in there if you want to. I didn't do it on mine, but you're certainly welcome to do that. So here's my card that I made today on the video, and then here is the little sample card that I had put together a couple of days ago. I like the way it turned out. I thought it was kind of cute, and like I said, fun for summer and spring and everything else. So again, I'm going to bug you one more time. Don't forget, the celebration is ending on Sunday. Remember, you've got your two options for starter kits. There is the $99 starter kit, which is the first option, where you get $175 worth of product in your starter kit for only $99, and it ships for free. And then there's option 2, where you get $175 worth of Stampin' Up! Products, and you get the Craft and Carry Tote, which is awesome, because you can only get that now by joining as a demonstrator, and that starter kit is $129. So again, love to have you join us. Would love to have you on the team, love to have you hang out with us, love to have you stamp with us. So let me know if you have questions about it. I'm happy to answer anything, and I will chat with you all next week, Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining me today. Have a good day.